Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. We're headed back to the world of Kilforth today, as we are playing Gloom of Kilforth by 𝐊𝐿, I believe is it 𝐊𝐿 Games or 𝐊𝐿 Productions is what it is. So this is a saga game set in the world of Kilforth, and we're trying to complete a story and defeat an adversary. So, first up, let's meet our adversary. We have got the Prince of Ruin that we're taking on today. He rolls 7 attack dice. I believe that's 10 health, probably worth 10 gold when we defeat him. Just double checking the card anatomy here, which is, of course, it's not explained in here, but I'm pretty sure that's how everything works out there. Okay. That's, the Ancients. HP, yep. 10 HP and gold earned when defeating. Okay, that's what I thought. As for his abilities that we have to worry about, whenever we battle him, on a map, for a trap, sacrifice a title. Prince of Ruin gains plus one maximum in current HP for each place in play, which will be on the encounters. When a battle round starts, each hero sacrifices an asset, and HP damage stays on Prince of Ruin after battle. During the night phase, when a forest location falls into gloom, place one random plot card on it, and Prince of Ruin heals 1 HP during the night. As for our character, we have a race and a class. Our race first is a vampire. 3 combat value, 2 study, 1 I believe that's observation, that's sneak value, and 4 influence. 4 HP, hero life drain ability. Whenever I defeat an enemy, I heal 2 HP. And I'm playing as a wizard, so I get to add 2 study value, class of arcane. Deed, veil, knowledge. During my discover action, I can ignore the location on the reward card, limit once per game. Some say it is the wizard's meddling beyond the veil that spawned the gloom. As for the flavor text on the vampire, vampires are lonely souls, feared and ruthless. Then we've got the weapon that we started off with, the gilded sword, which gives me +2 to the fight value. Then for skills, first skill up we've got is a battle wizard, +1 battle value, so that's actually very useful. Or fight value, I think it is. Yep, it's fight value. And angler, arcane. Veil at a Badlands location, I heal 1 HP. Okay, so I think we are all set to get into that. So, we've got our saga as well. So our saga, we're discovering land, Chapter 1. You listen to the stranger's words. Evidently, rumors abound of a long-lost land inhabited by an immortal and an unstoppable army. Legend tells that the army lies in wait for a leader to steer them to glory. Could you be that leader? A seemingly unending, scouring search of the Badlands for hints of their location has so far proven fruitless. You must find a respite from your relentless exertions. To complete, spend 5 gold and a regale action. In order to complete it, we need Badlands, quest, and since we're playing 1 player, we need a place keyword. Those will be on the encounters that come out. So, with that being said, I think we are all set to jump right into this one. So we've got 4 actions to start. We've got 4 actions to start the round since we're breaking camp at Sprawl City in the middle of the map. So, I think action 1, we are going to start by scouring the Dark Mire, which is a Badlands card. I'm going to bring the cards. It's probably fine. I was going to say I'm going to bring them over to the other side, but no. I think it'll be fine. So I've got the Badlands deck right here. I have added Dark Gloom and the encounters to this, plus what I got from Jester when I traded for this game with him earlier this year. Jester and I have done a few trades this year. This was one of the games I picked up in one of our trades. I think this came back as part of the Appa Hockey trade that we made last year. So the encounter that we're going to get here at the Badlands, or here at the Dark Mire for the Badlands, is an escort tracker. It's a quest. As a trophy, we can relocate to Sprawl City. So these are probably the skills that we can take on that quest. Encounters. Let's see, a quest. Assist, and actually we could get two of our keywords done with that. So the hero turn is to confront, so must be at a location, which I think we will do an encounter there. So much of a hero resolves around that. We're going to choose the quest. We're going to choose the escort trader that we just had. So we performs a test against it. They gain as many successes as the attribute's value we defeated. So we are going to just double checking here. Let's see, on the encounter, number of dice the encounter rolls. Okay, success. Influence value is the successes needed to defeat it. So we need to get 3 successes using either study or influence. Either way, we're going to be rolling 4 dice. So yeah, this is going to be a tough one, but we can stack up successes against it, I think. Gain a success for each die. Yeah, so as 0 total successes, the stranger becomes an enemy, yada yada yada. So we are going to confront the quest. And it doesn't really matter what what I use, because either way we need 3 successes against that quest. And add 1 if the tester is surprised, which it does not. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. Gain a success for each die showing a 5 or a 6. So yeah, we're going to, so that would give us either 3 gold or actually that would give us 3 gold and a spell or a loot token if we defeat it. But we are going to, I'm still trying to figure out if I can stack successes on it. I think I can. If they gain successes, they defeat the encounter, but it's still not explain if I can stack successes on it. I'm pretty sure I can, though. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and, like I said, it doesn't really matter what we roll against it. Either way, we're rolling 4 dice. I guess we'll roll influence against it. Actually, yeah. We'll roll influence against it. We get successes on 5s or 6s, and we need 3 to defeat this escort trader. Which we get 1. So, and actually, I think I remember something about I think during the night phase is where discards all encounter successes. So that's probably where we stack encounter successes. So we've got 1 success. So I'm just going to put a gold token on there to stack successes. On the location, I'm going to make a note of the total successes so far. Okay, so yeah, we can stack them up. Encounter 2, we'll try that again. We don't have any manipulation, unfortunately. Still using influence on this. We still need 5s and 6s. Okay, there's another success. Wow, this is going to take my entire turn to deal with this. So we will try it one more time. There, okay, there's 2 successes. So now we have dealt with the escort trader. As a trophy, we can relocate to Sprawl City. His retinue was slaughtered. You must return him safely home to collect your reward. So we've got to bring him to Sprawl. Actually, do we bring him to Sprawl City, or do we just... Stays in force while the card is in play. Okay, so it looks like we can use that as an ability to relocate to Sprawl City. Okay, that also gives me Quest and Badlands. Now, do I want 3 gold, or do I want to go into the loot bag? Because that was the reward. That's the reward down here on the bottom right. Is either 3 gold and a spell, or we can go into the loot bag. I think since I need 5 gold anyway here, I'm going to take the 3 gold and a spell. So on a spell, I'll give the spells a quick shuffle, even though I shuffled them last night. Just so you guys know I'm not up to any funny business here. Oop. I haven't decided if I'm going to sleeve these Kilforth games or not. It's going to take a lot of sleeves to do, though. And I'll almost certainly want to do it in clear. They might not stay in the box anyway after I've integrated encounters, after I've integrated some of the expansion content I have. But if I sleeve the game, they almost certainly won't stay. So we'll get a spell. The spell here we'll find is Charm. I need 3 study value to cast it. 1 plus influence, spell, and an aid. Actually, so I'm going to look at these spells and rewards. Okay, attribute bonus. Lock indicates this is the minimum study value a hero must have to use this spell. We have 4, so we can have this. And 7 is the attribute bonus. Okay. So now we've got Charm, which gives me a +1 to my influence. And I'm rolling 5 dice on that. But I'm rambling at this point. The Badlands cards can go back up. So now we go into the night phase, which we would start by losing an HP if we were at a location that's fallen into gloom, but we're not anywhere that's fallen into gloom yet. So we'll get a card from the night deck. One of these locations is going to fall into gloom, though. And our first location is the Dead Swamp falls into gloom. So let me see if I can find the Dead Swamp. Here we go. Dead Swamp falls into gloom. So now if we ever end our turn at the Dead Swamp, we lose an HP. 4 combat value, 2... What was that? I think that was... I'm trying to remember what eyeball was. It's not influence because that's head in this game. That is sneak value. Okay. When we revealed, places enemy at the Dead Swamp. So that's what we can use to sneak around it. That's what he fights with. The forgotten undead forces of the Doom Guard are mustering once more. What can it mean? That gets you an item and 2 gold. So now the Wave of Doom goes over there, and it is back to our turn once again. And we've got 4 actions. So, now that I've got the Escort Traveler as a way to relocate back to Sprawl City, so we're at a Badlands location. We could heal 1 HP, but I'm already full up there. So for action 1, I don't think I want to be in the forest, but I will move over to... Heroes may perform a move action here to move directly to the Old Wood. Where did the Old Wood end up? Okay, the Old Wood is all the way over here. The Old Wood's over here, so I think I am going to take a move action to move over there. Then I'll get a forest encounter. Remember, I still need a place and at least 1 more gold to be able to complete my chapter 1 of my saga. Here's the forest deck. Once again, I'll give it a shuffle. It's a pretty crappy, admittedly it's a pretty crappy shuffle because I don't have this game sleeved yet. I'd probably have a much easier time once I actually get it sleeved. Assuming I do. But I actually did enjoy this game the first time I played it. So I'm sure it's going to get sleeved at some point, but I will need to get my hands on enough clear sleeves to be able to do it. So our encounter here is a duel. It's an event. The weakest hero performs a Fight 3 test. Pass to gain 1 level 1 skill in any class. Fail to lose an HP. A challenge is issued and your honor is at stake. Well, since we're the only hero, we have to perform this Fight 3 test. So, Fight 3 test. Let's see, determine how many dice. Determine the... So it looks like we need 3 successes. We've got a fight value of 5, though. So we're going to get our dice out for that. We need 3 successes on this. And we are actually going to be just short. Because we only have 2 successes there. We've got no way to manipulate dice, so we will fail, which means we'll lose an HP. That's unfortunate. So now we might want to consider moving to a Badlands location so I can use the veiled effect. I'm going to move that to the bottom of the deck. I don't think a veil effect takes an action, does it? Let's see. Oh, actually, I could discard once per day. I can add a success by discarding a fate token. So I actually will discard a fate token to that, so I don't lose the HP, and I will gain a level 1 skill in any class. So I need to go back to the box for the rest of the skills. Here we are. So let's see what I want here. A level 1 skill in any class. That could be useful, especially for fighting. Got a forest, heal 1. Spend an action to look at the top card of an encounter deck. Fight +2 against enemies with demon. The Prince of Ruin is a demon, so that's actually tempting. And at a plains heal 1 HP. So I've got 2 I'm kind of tempted by. I'm looking at Prize Fighter. Wave of Doom is an undead, so I'm looking at either Prize Fighter or Pious. That gives me Fight +2 against enemies with the demon keyword, or rolling dice during a fight test, reroll each die showing a 1. I think I'm going to... I think I'm going to take the... I think I'm going to take the Prize Fighter. So that's going to let me... So here's a look at the Prize Fighter. After I roll dice during a fight test, I'll actually re-roll each die showing a 1. That could be very useful. Like I said, Pious was tempting, but I'm not sure if I'm even going to get to the Prince of Ruin at this point. So we're going to pass on that. Okay, that changes out my need to roll on the... That changes out my need to roll for the... Or to move to the Badlands. I still need a place, though. So let's go... Action 2. We'll go down to the rolling hills and have our first mountain encounter. So we've got the mountain deck right here. We'll give this a quick shuffle. And a cut. And this will be our mountain encounter. So here we will draw. Traveler, it's an event. Revealed, first hero takes this card as your confront action at Sprawl City. Discard it and gain 4 gold. Wow. The Wanderer requests your protection as you travel the wilderness together. Ooh. Yeah, suddenly I want to make my way back to Sprawl City, and actually I've got a map action that I could just do that with. Trophy. No, I don't think that perform any trophy benefits on the... Oh, so that's got to be... Okay, so that's a reward. So we could have located to Sprawl... We could have relocated to Sprawl City with that at the time, but I didn't worry about that. So... Okay. Alright, so I'm going to move back to the Old Wood for Action 3. I do want to start working my way back to Sprawl City, though. We need a new forest encounter as Conflict Board Gaming stops by. Hopefully everything is going well for you at work today, Conflict. We'll get a new forest encounter. As we've got the Nymph. This is one of those cards from the Dark Gloom set. It is an enemy demon forest, and actually this probably would have been useful to have the, what's the word I want? That pious skill. 3 HP, 5 dice, 3 sneak value, 3 will. Unfortunately, we're not hidden, so we are going to have to fight the Nymph right away. When a battle starts, perform an Influence 3 test. If we pass, we defeat her, lose an AP, and heal at 1 HP. If we fail, we lose an AP, and continue the battle. The nymphs save those who please them. A reward gets us an item and 2 gold, or we go into the loot bag. So we are going to have to start the battle right away, but we will get an Influence 3 test. I'm rolling 4 dice. I need 3 5s or 6s in order to pass the test. There's a 6, so unfortunately we don't, which means this will be our last AP, but we have to fight her. Yikes, that's problematic, because she's got a fight value of 5. Yowza. So yeah, we're going to have to start this battle immediately. Let's see, engagements don't cost AP and are mandatory for any hero. An engagement is an attempt by a hero to defeat a foe. Okay, so determine whether one of the combatants starts with surprise. So if the foe is a stranger which the hero just placed their enemy this turn, an enemy drawn from the encounter deck this turn has surprise. So yikes. Okay, the nymph already has surprise, so I'll be rolling white dice for myself. I get 5 dice because I've got a fight value of 3 plus the sword that I start with of 2. Actually, I could have used charm, but there's no point worrying about that now. The nymph has a fight value of 5 plus she's got surprise, so she'll get all 6 black dice. The hero's hidden, which we're not. So battle. Each separately resolve a fight test. For each success the hero gains, the foe will lose an HP. So, okay. Separately resolve a fight test. I'm just going to roll them both together. Once again, 5s and 6s count as successes. Okay, so we get 3 successes against the nymph, and she's actually got a health value of 3. Fortunately, she didn't get any successes, so we actually do manage to defeat the nymph, which means I can either take the reward of 2 gold and an item, or go into the loot bag, and I think I'm going to make sure I've got the item. I think I'm going to make sure I've got the gold I need while I'm looking, before I start looking for the place. So we'll take the 2 gold and I'll grab an item out. There isn't a trophy here, so there's no effect there. I'll get the items out in just a minute. Once I find where I had... Here we go. Nope. Here we go. Okay. So we're not defeated. Okay. So it's still not showing me exactly what I'm after. Oh, here we go. Loot step. So we are gaining the gold and the item. So we've got the item deck right here. I'll give this another crappy shuffle. And a cut. And we'll draw our item. I will draw. Flight draught. I can discard this to relocate to any location. Ooh, I would be able to use that to go straight to gain gold equal to the value of the defeated encounter card, or may then either... Okay, so I'm actually discarding the nymph as a rumor then to gain the item. Okay, I understand that better now. So the item would have to be discarded, but I am discarding the nymph since I didn't need it. Okay, so I've got four. So I've got all of my actions are used, which means we need another card from the night deck. Well, first we have the gloom check, but we're not at the location that's in gloom. So now darkness. Night card, the open heath falls into gloom, which the open heath is... It's a plains location. Here it is. Right in front of my face. No wonder I can't find it. We've got the Rosen Pilgrimage. 3 study value, 4 influence. It's a quest. Revealed, place it at the open heath. The Rosen Knights' forces are strained by the gathering evils, yet they fight on with undying zeal. Okay, and then now that I understand it, it's 3 gold, and you have to discard it for the spell, or you can or you can go into the loot bag with that. Actually, that's the choice for the gold. So now it's back over to our turn. We get our full 4. We get our full 4 action points back. Action 1. Bumsy Socks joins in. Nice cards. Or am I playing with expansions? There are a couple of expansions integrated in here. I've got encounters. I've got Dark Gloom in here as well, and I've got Dark Gloom in here as well. Some of this stuff, admittedly, I got from Jester earlier this year as part of a trade we did with 𝐊𝐿𝐴 stuff. So actually, the tarot cards that you see here actually came from that Dark Gloom. I'll show you what the location cards normally look like. If I can find them in here. So the location cards are normally poker-sized like this. These are actually tarot-sized locations, which I think makes it a little bit easier to see them. It takes up a little bit more of the board, but that's to be expected when you've got bigger cards. And I've got all three of the upgrades for these games. I do have Pimp My Shadows and Dark Call, I think it is. But I forget what... They're basically the deluxe expansions, all of which give you some extra cards. Actually, no, the dark upgrades are what are supposed to be considered the racy cards. And actually, that nymph that we drew for the forest was one of those supposedly racier cards. I looked at them last night when I was setting this up, and I kind of looked at them and I'm like, these aren't racy. But then I'm getting old, so... Anywho, I definitely want to get back to Sprawl City so I can get rid of this Traveler to get 4 extra gold as a confront. So I'll start off by moving action 1 over to the green meadows. That will give me a plains encounter, which I didn't have a plains encounter when I didn't have a plains encounter earlier because I used a move action at the Dark Mire to move over to the Old Wood. So that's how I bypassed the green meadow. I do still need a place, though, to complete my saga. So here's our plains encounter coming up. We have Samhain. 5 fight value, 2 sneak value. Unfortunately, we're not able to sneak past it. And it's got 5 health. Yowza. On the map, it's immune to items and defeat effects. And unfortunately, my sword is an item, so I've got to fight this thing hand to hand. And I'm down 2 dice. I can get 4 gold and either an item or a random loot. At first, it only came out at night, mostly. One of the locals thought it was anthropomorphize it. Thought to anthropomorphize it by naming the thing Sam. Right. That's going to end well. So he's got surprise, and I can't use my sword against it. So in this case, I only get 3 white dice, whereas he gets all 6 of the black dice. Yikes. This could be trouble. And he's got 5 hit points. Okay, so we each do a damage. I'll put 1 on him and lose 1. Then we take away his surprise die and we roll again. Hopefully with a little more success on my end, a little less on his. Okay, so that's 2 successes on him, another one. So that's 2 more damage I'm doing to him, but he's doing 1 more damage, which will also cost me an action point. So I need 1 more success to take him out. Let's see. Okay, I just was making sure I had all my dice in there. He does another success, which is not good. And I didn't get anything. Actually, wait a minute. I took the... Oh, I do have skills, so I should be rolling... I do have the Bardic Wizard, so I should have rolled 2 extra dice. That's from the last 2 rounds of combat. Not that it did anything, so I do get a skill there, but I took my 1 HP of damage. I didn't get any 1s, unfortunately. But I do need to take this guy out now without taking any damage myself. Wow. Okay, so I do take him out, but he also does way more than enough damage to knock me out. So the question is, if we knock each other out simultaneously... Okay, foe defeated check, we do that first. So we do take damage to knock us out, but we do enough damage to knock him out. So now I get 4 gold, and so I get 4 gold for that. I still need a place, though, to complete my saga. So I get 4 gold from that, and I can either take an item or go into the... Then I can either take an item or go into the loot bag with that. I think I'm going to go into the loot bag with this one. Oh, gain gold equal to the gold value or draw a... Okay, so it's either the gold or go into the loot bag. So since I've got enough gold, I am going to go into the loot bag. So I've got my loot bag here. This bigger loot bag also comes from the advanced upgrades. The bag that comes with the game is normally this size. I can get my hand in there, but once I get the loot tokens in there, it's a bit tight on space. So it's actually a lot easier to have the much bigger bag, where I can get my hand in there with no problem whatsoever. Which will give me, those shouldn't be in there. Let's try that again. Had a couple of extra enemy tokens for green in there. I'll have to go through and those are for when strangers become enemies. Alright, so here's our loot token. We get another gold. La-di-da. So we end up with a gold anyway. And what am I going to do with the card? Am I going to keep that as a rumor or discard it for an item? I think I'm going to, since I don't need enemy, demon, or planes as any of my keywords, I'm going to wait. The hero then places their discard the defeated. Okay, so I am going to discard Sam Hine to get an item card. That's from the Plains deck. So for the item we will draw an Elven Cloak, +1 on my sneak value. Item armor. It is said that the Dodger's Mantle, the garb of the woodland elves, allows the wearer to hide in plain sight. Okay. Right. Unfortunately, when we do the hero defeated check, we are knocked out. So let's see what the consequences are for that. Okay, so we make camp and end our turn immediately. We make camp and end our turn immediately. Unfortunately, we return all of our gold to the pool, or to the supply. Sacrifice an asset or discard a rumor. I'm going to toss Charm, since I don't see myself. Am I going to toss Charm, or do I want to toss something else? I think I'm actually going to toss the Elven Cloak that I just got, because I'm not really using sneak value much in this game. Returns their hero to Standita Sprawl City, which is where we wanted to go anyway. So that will end the turn. Okay, if the foe is non-ancient and not defeated, it restores to full health. Okay, so it didn't do any of that. But we do need a new card from the Knight deck, which I think I put the Plains down. No, I didn't. Here's the Knight deck. Okay. So we've got the Hidden Woods falling into Gloom. Then we've got an event. Revealed, discard a quest from play. That'll get rid of the Rosen Pilgrimage. Demons pierce the veil, and now the Doomguard march again. These are dark times indeed. Okay, so at the start of the day, do we heal back to 4 HP? Equal to their current health points. So we're actually... Wait a minute. Something's not right here. Makes camp immediately and ends their turn. So does making camp heal their HP back to full? I would almost have to, I would think. There'd have to be some way to be able to heal. Here's the problem. If your HP is tied... Here's the problem. If your HP is tied to your hit points, and there's no way to heal after you're knocked out, how do you go through the... if there's no way to heal other than the rest action, and there's no way to heal other than rest. Let's see, makes camp, discards all of their action points. Let's see, action rest. Has no HP, they're defeated with the following consequences. Yeah, something isn't feeling right about that. So if I end up getting defeated with no HP, there seems like there's no way to heal from that. Okay, during the night phase and dawn, each hero regains 2 HP. Okay, that explains a lot more about that. So it's actually it's actually a night phase at dawn. So we've got 2 actions coming up. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. I had figured there had to be some way that you were able to restore HP natively in the game without having to take an active action for it. Speaking of actions, probably a good thing that I did it this way, so I'm going to discard the Traveler to gain 4 gold. And then for action 2, I'm going to rest so I can heal an HP. But I don't get the action point back. And we go into the night deck right away. Night deck will find that the Dark Mire has now fallen into Gloom, which is right here. Then we've got Weather. Revealed, place 1 obstacle at each location for each quest it has. And on the map, when a quest enters play, place an obstacle at its location. Okay, so yikes. So Weather is going to stay in play up over here, I think. Alright, then we've got 3 actions coming back in. Which action 1 is going to be to rest my 4th HP back. Action 2, I'm going to move up to the Grand Plains for another Plains encounter. I'm still looking for a place so I can complete the first chapter of my saga. Admittedly, this is probably the one thing that I could see being hesitant on about this game. Because it turns things into a bit of a slog when you're looking for the right keywords that you're trying to get to. So it can make the game go a little bit long. Be aware of that. And for the plains, we have a trader. A stranger, neutral plains. As a map, we can perform a free market action. Traders have to rely on more than just their wit and wiles to negotiate the wastelands. Actually, wait a minute. When we defeated the vampire, we should have healed 2 HP. Or when we defeated the enemy that we did, the Sam Hine, we should have healed 2 HP from that. So we wouldn't have been considered defeated. But I'm not going to rewind that back and worry about it now. Means reward, loot, and rumor. Okay, yeah. So I don't have to engage with a stranger right away. I could perform a test on that. Let's see, for a stranger. Yeah, it's a little bit different for a stranger. I'm still looking for place, though. Let's see, up there, at Barrowmoor, I could move directly to Lava Canyon, which that is... Actually, that's back over here, so that would be a waste. And Stranger, I can move away from, I think. I'm pretty sure Stranger I can... I'm pretty sure Strangers I can move away from. Let's see, engagement. In a location with an enemy, so it's not... So we're not considered to be... Let's see, with a stranger. Okay, cannot confront a stranger while hidden. So the stranger becomes an enemy, as our confront action accounts as an enemy instead of a stranger. So here it defeats the encounter. So we could... So we would only need 1 influence success, and we've got 5 influence right now. Do we want to take a shot at that stranger? I think the answer here is going to be yes. We are going to try to commit. We are going to confront the traitor with an influence test. So we've got 5 influence, and we only need a single success. That's a 5 or a 6. Which we get a 6 on there, so perfect. Okay, so that will give me either 2 gold or a random loot. I'll take the 2 gold. And I'm going to discard it to draw an ally. Planes are right here. So we'll get an ally out. Hand limit is 6, but I'm plenty clear on that. And our ally that we draw is the Amazon. +1 fight value, +1 sneak value. They were forced to march abroad to defend their dwindling lands. So now we've got an ally to help us out as well with fighting. Let's see, our last action is going to be to move over to the Barren Wastes. And we'll get a Badlands encounter. So here we'll find a kobold. It's an enemy. 2 fight value, 3 sneak value. Map as a trap, lose an HP, enemy humanoid Badlands. Kobold warriors were littered with traps and pits to ensnare the unsuspecting. We gain a gold or a random loot token, or an item, or as a rumor. So we do have to fight the kobold. He's got the element of surprise, but we're rolling 3 dice. But he's rolling 3 dice to our 6 because we've got a fight value of 3 +2 from the sword, +1 from the Amazon. So we're rolling a total of 6 fight dice, and he's only got 2 health. So let's see how fast we can take out this kobold. Yeah, he doesn't do anything back to us, whereas we're gonna blast him into whereas we're gonna slash him into next week. So I will take I'm gonna go into the bag for another random loot token. Here we're going to find a pipe. +1 influence for 1 test. Okay, cool. And I'm going to discard the card since I don't need enemy humanoid or Badlands. I'm going to discard it to gain a random item. So Badlands is this deck. Then we'll get an item. Here we'll find a demonic brooch, +1 study value. It's item jewelry. Bought from beyond the veil, the brooch of Socrates carries the taint of evil and an air of mysterious knowledge. Wonderful. Okay, so now we're into the night phase. We're not in a location that's fallen to gloom. Our next location that is falling to gloom is the Verdant Fields, which the Verdant Fields are right here. Revealed, place 1 obstacle at each location for each place it has. And on a map, when a place enters play, place an obstacle at its location. So obstacles are things that we have to deal with. Then we have the rest of the night phase, which If when a particular type of location falls into gloom, I don't think we've had any forests fall yet. Oh, yes. Yes, we have, actually. So we should have a plot out. So I'll give these a shuffle. And a cut. And we'll put a plot on the location. Okay. So, successes, hidden heroes, defeated heroes. Oh, and it's right there. Duh, I'm blind. Okay, so... So what do we want to do here? That is a good question, admittedly. So... Well, we've got our 4 action points back. Action 1... That gives me a study value of 5 now, so I've definitely got charm active. Action 1, we are going to move over to the Wretched Bog, which will give me a Badlands encounter. I'm still looking for a place for my saga. Pit of Hell, 6. We need 6 successes on a study test. And also we get an obstacle coming into play for that. Discover the source of the demon's scourge and close it off for good before all hell breaks loose. Fantastic. And it would be an action to probably... how would you clear the obstacles out? Until removed by an effect or an action. So it looks like there's an action of some kind that can clear obstacles. Oh, it's a clear action. Herpaderp. Let's see here. For action, that was action 1. Action 2, I'm going to move down to the Old Wood. I could move over to Dark Mire if I need to. Let's see what the forest has in store for us. Curative Font. Place Respite Forest, but we have to confront it with a 3 study or a 2 sneak test. If you pass it, heal 3 HP. Get a title or a gold. Or a gold or a loot token, and either it as a rumor or a title. I actually need it as the title is what I needed, or the place. That's what I need that as. But there's no sense in going there right now, or using that, unless I want to just finish the saga now and be done with it, which is an option. What would I be okay discarding? Actually... That would let me relocate to any location. Do deeds take actions, though? Deeds usually don't. Deeds including during an action. Okay, so... Right. Okay. So deed... So discard it to move to... So basically discard that to move to any location. The problem is I don't want to... I'm not going to be staying in the Dead Swamp anyway. So that's 4. We'd be rolling 5 dice against its 6. So I think I am going to discard the Flight Draught to move down to the Dead Swamp. Which means we are going to have to fight the Wave of Doom there. He's got 5 fight dice. I've got 6. He gets 5 in the first round because he's got surprise. I get 6 because I've got a fight value of 3 from being a vampire, plus 2 from the sword, plus 1 from the Amazon. So so that's where I get my 6 fight dice from. He's got 3 HP to my 4. Let's see if we can knock him out quickly. Okay, that's not good. So we take 2 damage, but we deal 1 to him. That's not as good. So we're both still in it. He loses 1 of his dice for surprise. I still have my 6. Let's see if we can knock him out. We need to do 2 more damage to him. which we do 1 more damage to him, but he also does 1 back to us. Which also costs us an action point. And now we've got our last round of combat. Which, okay, so he does a damage back to us, but we do 2 more to him. So that will knock him out. And because I'm going to actually pay attention to life drain this time, I will gain 2 HP back. So I can either take the 2 gold or a loot token. I'm actually going to take a loot token out of this. Our loot token here is a tent, which will let me gain a rest AP. Nice. Then I'm going to... I don't need enemy or undead, so I'm actually going to discard this to get an item. And the item coming out is a Dwarven Axe. As a deed, I can sacrifice this to just defeat an enemy at my location. Very cool. After centuries of battling the deep goblins, the dwarves forged the axe 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐥𝐚𝐢𝐸. It was a peerless weapon from their finest craftsmen. Sells for 3 gold at the market. But I do have 2 HP back, so I don't get defeated, but we do get a night card. We are at a location that is in Gloom. I was planning on not still being there, so we do lose a health for that. That plan actually blew up in my face a bit. Then we've got the Spire Tor falling into Gloom, which is right here. And revealed, place this card in play besides the map. And on a map, each encounter at Spire Tor gains +2 to each attribute. Gross! Yikes. So we've only got 1 action at this point, which I think is going to be working our way back to the curative font as fast as we can. So we'll get a Plains encounter out for that. We've got a Forlorn House, 2 sneak value. On the map, heroes may perform rest actions here. Okay, so we could do a sneak check. Sneak check against that. Gold or a random token or a title. So that's another place we could potentially grab. But that was our only action for the turn. So it's actually going to take me 2 turns now to get over to the curative font. Let's see what happens here in the night deck. Howling Gale, but the old wood falls into... Place an obstacle at each location for each stranger it has, and when a stranger enters play, place an obstacle at its location. Wonderful. So now we've got all kinds of weather coming out. Actually, hold on. I'm going to look something up, because it doesn't seem like I should have that many weather effects out. Weather 22. Any new weather card currently in play is discarded. Okay, so we should only have the Howling Gale right now. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, wait a minute, there's no way I should have that many weather cards in play, but I shouldn't. Alright, so 1 action point. I'm going to spend that to immediately rest. Unfortunately, that is going to be the end of my turn. So we'll go to the night deck. Here we'll find that the Rising Bluff falls to Gloom. Fortunately, we're not at a location that's fallen to Gloom. We need the Rising Bluff, though. Here it is. Rising Bluff is all the way up here in the upper right corner of the map. No wonder I couldn't find it. Rosen Knight. Revealed, discard an enemy from play, except we don't have an enemy in play. Sir Beauregard Lee ranked amongst the bravest of the Knights of the Rose. So we don't get to discard an enemy from play. We do get 2 actions back, though. So that's action 1. We're going to move into the old wood. I am going to be biting the bullet here and taking a damage, but I am going to confront the curative font. So I'm going to use my study value of 2, 4, 5 from the demonic brooch. So I've got 5 study value here. And I will get 3 successes out of that. Actually, I get 4 successes out of that. So I'm going to heal 3 HP, which will bring me back to full. But it'll give me a little bit of a breather, so I can either take a gold or a random token, which I'll take a random... Do I want the token or the gold? I actually want the gold here, because I'm going to be going down to 5. I'm actually going to be going down 5 on my next turn. But I have to discard something, as I am going to keep this as a rumor. I'm going to discard... I'm definitely not discarding the Amazon. I need the escort trader for my saga. I think I'm going to discard the Dwarven Axe. As much as I don't want to. I think the Regale action... I'm just going to look, but the Regale action, I'm pretty sure they not already regaled a chapter this day. So 5 gold, then... Okay, so we do discard the cards that we need for that. For its... Okay, yeah, okay. So we've got all that sorted out. We are in the Gloom phase, so we do lose an HP there. And the Night phase, the Night card coming out, is Warm Sunshine. Okay, so the Lush Jungle falls into Gloom. The Lush Jungle is right here. When Breaking Camp ends, each hero gains 1 move AP. So that's an AP that we can only use to move. So the Howling Gale's out. So we get 3 action points back. Oop. And because we're breaking camp, we get a, I think what did you say, we get a move AP back? Yep, we get a move AP. So I'm going to start off using my move AP to move over here, over to the Green Meadows. There's the Forlorn House here. I am going to spend my tent to gain a rest AP, which I'll immediately use to rest. So I have not used an actual action point yet. I will now, though. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to take the Regale action. So I'm going to discard the Curative Font as a rumor and the Escort Trader. So I've got Place, Quest, and Badlands, and that will complete my first saga. Those will go to the bottom of their respective decks. And when does the new saga come into play? I think that comes into play... it can be regaled at any location, but we have to be at the... to complete a saga chapter. I think the new saga comes out immediately from the looks of it. Chapters can be regaled at any location, which we have done that. So now we get Chapter 2. Chapter 2 of our saga for Discover Land. During your travails, you discover a magical concoction. Desperately thirsty and struggling for the strength to go on, you rest where you can and imbibe just a tiny sip of the draught. You are instantly imbued with renewed vigor. Heartened by your recent discoveries, you set off once again, this time across lands more fertile to seek this lost world. To spend, we need another 5 gold and to complete a regale action. This time our keywords that we need are plains, potion, and we need place again. So we actually could confront the Forlorn House, to get that as a place, as action 2. And I think we will. So that's going to need 2 successes on a sneak. Unfortunately, we've got only 2 sneak. So let's roll these 2 6s. One lesson I definitely learned from 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐬: always re-roll your 6s, kids. Let's see if that advice pans out here. Well, I got 1 success anyway. I will confront it again for my last action. Come on, let's have this. We got it. Nicely done. Okay, so I can either take a gold or a random loot token. I'm going to take the gold. And then I'm also going to keep it in my hand as a rumor, since it gives me 2 of my 3 keywords right off the bat. Then we go into the night phase. We're not at a night token, not at a location that's fallen into gloom. The wretched bog is falling into gloom, which is up here with the quest. And we've got the Orc Raiders. 3 fight value, 2 sneaks to try to sneak past. Places enemy at the wretched bog, 3 health. Get a gold or a random loot token and an item if you discard it. Outlying lands are plagued by the ferocious and brutal orcish raiders. So that'll go up to the wretched bog as well. We're going to get our 4 action points back, but I think the start of Chapter 2 is a pretty good place to wrap up for the time being. I'm definitely going to continue this playthrough today, though. So this will be on the table for a while, because I'm actually really enjoying this game. Before we sign off, though, we are going to go into today's entry in the Advent calendar, which, given what we've been cracking, we should get a new set of dice from our entry for the 18th. So let's see what we get in here. There we are. So we've got a pink D6 coming out, and actually the contrast, that looks like it'll show up very easily. So another cool dice set coming out. So it looks like the last set in the Advent calendar is going to be pink. So that'll do it for this playthrough this first part of the playthrough of Gloom of Kilforth. Like I said, we are going to continue this playthrough later today. I'm just going to take a small break. Plus, the end of the saga chapter is actually a good place to take a break. So stay tuned to the channel for more developments on Gloom of Kilforth today. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone. That's the one I want.